Hi friends, it's Miss Jennifer at Somerset Academy of Music, and today we're going to be talking about how to play 2-octave major scales. Let's get started. So first off, let's start with the C major scale, and I'm just going to play it 1 octave for you just to sort of review what that fingering is. For the 1 octave C major scale, which is all white keys, and the right hand is using fingers 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going up, and then it's just the reverse of that coming down. The left hand is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Coming up, reverse is going down. Okay, so when we put it together, what we're essentially going to be doing to make a 2-octave scale is we're going to, when we get to the top of the 1 octave, when we get right here, we're going to want to continue on. So since our right hand, you can see my 5th finger is here on this key. In order to keep going on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my thumb under, and my left hand thumb is already on the C, so that's fine. So after I take my thumb under, then I'm going to take my right hand and just place it in the new position going up. And this hand, now I have to cross over, and I'm going to think of it as if my left hand, as if it's just starting over. So down here I started on my 5, and then my 4th finger was playing the D. So when I get to the top, whoops. When I get to the top, I want to do that same thing. That 4th finger that I used down here, I'm going to put it on this key. So we're essentially just starting over. Now both hands are ready to start again. I cross that 4th finger, and then I continue up exactly the same as I did doing the 1 octave. Okay, so same thing when we come down. We're going to turn our thumb under. When we get here, we want to start over just like we did up there. So I want to recreate what's up here. I'm going to go ahead and use my thumb here, and I'm going to take this thumb under here. And when I was up here, I used my 4th finger on this B. So that's the same finger I'm going to want to use here. And when I was up there with my left hand, my 2nd finger was on B. So that's what I want to happen here as well. So when I get here, I'm recreating those B's up here by turning them there. And then we proceed down as we usually do. So that's like the basic facts of how to play that scale. Let me do it again without stopping in the middle so you can watch how my hands do that. Now, when where people run in trouble in doing the scale is the thumbs end up going in weird places. People will tend to want to put their thumb on the wrong key. And then also when you come to a spot where you need to cross over, the big mistake that people make is they usually cross a 3 when it should have been a 4, or cross a 4 when it should have been a 3. So that's the hard part that we have to conquer. And there's a little technique, I guess you will, that I use to help my students learn how to do that. And that is always knowing where your thumbs go, okay, in every scale, and then remembering that our 3rd fingers are going to play at the same time. Now this particular trick only works for 5 scales in piano: C major, G major, D major, A major, E major, which are the first 5 scales that are on the circle of fifths, if you're familiar with that. C, G, D, A, and E major scale all use the same fingering, which is the fingering that I just showed you here. So on those 5 scales, the trick to getting those easy to play 2 octaves are knowing where your thumbs land, and that your 3rd fingers are always going to match up at the same time. So let me show you how that works. So in my left hand, I know that my thumb is going to land on a G and a C. And in fact, both of our thumbs are gonna hit the C's. So if we can remember that our left hand thumb goes on G and C, our right hand thumb is going to land on C and F. And that's where the trouble lies in, is that the thumbs don't land at the same time on these first 5 major scales of the circle of fifths. So left hand thumb is on G, right hand thumb is on F. Okay, now you're going to want to think about your right hand thumb on the way up, and you're going to want to think about your left hand thumb on the way down. And then when you come to cross, I'm going to show you how that works. So we're going to go up. My right hand thumb goes on F. My left hand thumb goes on G. And when I get here, I'm about to cross over, I look and my other hand is using my 3rd finger. So if I can remember that 3rd fingers are at the same time, then I know I need to cross my 3rd finger here, not my 4th finger. Okay, and it's always going to be one of those. You're going to cross your 3rd or your 4th finger. For these first 5 scales, you're never going to cross a different finger than that. You're either going to cross your 3rd finger over or your 4th finger over your thumb. Okay, so both third fingers at the same time. Now I get here, I'm coming up to C, and we said before that both thumbs go on C, so I'm going to remember. Boom, both thumbs on C. Now, here I'm at another crossing place with my left hand. What do I cross over? Do I cross over 3 or 4? To find the answer to that, I look at this hand. This hand is not using 2. That means this hand has to cross 4 because we want 3s to land at the same time, which now they've done. Whoops, missed my thumb. Let me back it up. So 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to take my right hand thumb under to F because our right hand thumb goes on F. Our left hand thumb goes on G. And here we go. We've got another spot where we have to cross the left hand. And look, right hand's going to play 3. So that means left hand's crossing 3. Now, on the way down, this is where the biggest trouble usually happens. And it's usually created by the left hand. So big time, this is what you want to think about on the way down. Your thumb is going to land where? It's going to land on G and C in your left hand. Your right hand is going to kind of land naturally, so you're not going to have to worry about it as long as you're crossing the correct thing. So first thing we want to think about, left hand thumb is going to go on C and G. Okay? The next thing we want to think about is when we cross the right hand over, we're going to look at the left hand. If the left hand is on 3, I'm going to cross 3. If the left hand is on 2 or some other finger, we're going to cross 4. Okay, so let's give that a try going down. So coming down, here comes G, so I'm going to tuck my left thumb under. Now I'm at a cross point with my right hand. My right hand thumb just automatically landed on F, if I did everything correctly. Now, when I cross over, look here. Left hand's playing 3, so I'm going to cross 3. I'm back at C, so both thumbs are going to play C. When I get here, I'm going to cross my right hand. I need to know that my second finger is here in my left hand, so that means I'm not going to cross my third finger. I'm going to cross my fourth finger. Here comes my G. This is the place where usually people miss this G and they want to go on to the 4. It just feels too soon to do another thumb. But if you keep remembering that your left hand thumb goes on G, when you get here, left hand thumb on G, right hand thumb landed on F. Look at this, my third finger's here, so that means I'm crossing my third finger. Okay, let's use this technique on the G scale. So just to review, the G scale is going to use the same fingering that the C major scale used. We start on G and we're going to have F sharp. So the G major 1 octave scale will look like this. If you need to know how to play any of these scales 1 octave, I have a video for all the octave scales that you can also find on my channel that'll explain all the different fingerings that we use for all the major scales. Okay, so back to G. 2 octave scale. So what we need to remember for the G major scale is that our left hand thumb is going to land on D and G. Our right hand thumb is going to land on G and C. And then of course don't forget F sharp. Okay, so let's try doing it 2 octaves using the things that we just pointed out that we're going to remember. And third fingers at the same time. Left hand thumb on D and G. Right hand thumb on G and C. Here we go. Right hand thumb on C. Here's my crossover point. Right hand is 3, so that means left hand crosses 3. There's the F sharp. Both thumbs go on G. Now, here I am. You can see I need to cross over in my left hand. Do I cross my 3 or my 4? To find that out, we look at the right hand. It's playing a 2. That means the left hand crosses 4. Third fingers at the same time. Now, my right hand thumb goes on C. That means my left hand, when I get here, my right hand's using 3, so my left hand's going to cross 3. That's right. F sharp. On the way down, remember this is a tricky spot. Be ready for that left hand thumb on D. It's going to come real quick. Left hand thumb goes on D. Right hand thumb's on C. Third finger's at the same time. Now when we get here, we're back to G, so both thumbs on G. F sharp. Left hand thumb goes on D. Right hand thumb on C. Third finger's at the same time. Got it? Okay, let's move on. We'll do one more. Let's look at the D major scale. D major scale has 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. Let's take a look. 1 octave. All right, for the left hand, we need to know that our left hand thumb lands on A and D. Our right hand thumb lands on D and G. Third fingers at the same time. We know that. Okay, here we go. 2 octaves. Right hand thumb on G. Both third fingers at the same time. Both thumbs on D. Right hand's a 2. Left hand crosses 4. Third fingers at the same time. Right hand thumb on on G. B with our third finger, so left hand crosses 3. C sharp, back to the top, going down. Left hand thumb goes on A. Right hand thumb goes on G. Third fingers at the same time. Both thumbs on D. Right hand is going to cross 4 because left hand's on a 2. Third fingers at the same time. Left hand thumb goes on A. Right hand thumb goes on G. Third fingers at the same time. And there we did it. Very good. Okay, so remember you can use that same principle going forward. We got 2 more scales it applies to, the A and the E major scale. I won't play through them, but we'll just take a look at the fingering. The way that you can figure out where the thumbs go, that trick to that, is just playing through the scale 1 octave and seeing where your thumb lands. So when I start A here, my thumb lands on E, and then when I get to the top, my thumb's going to be on A. So left hand is going to be E, right hand A. Or sorry, left hand thumb goes on E and A. Right hand thumb goes on A and D. Okay, let's look at the E scale. E scale, both thumbs are going to land on E. Left hand thumb is going to land also on B. Right hand thumb is going to land on E and A. So left hand is E and B. Right hand is E and A. And that'll take you through those 5 scales. What I would recommend doing is starting with C major, get really comfortable with that fingering, practicing putting the third fingers at the same time, knowing where your thumbs go. If you go through that, for several days of practice, that should start to feel easy. Once that feels easy, then go on, try the G scale, try the D scale, try the A scale, try the E scale. I always encourage and love learning the scales and the order in which they come on the circle of fifths. There's added benefits to that, because that's going to help you memorize the circle of fifths, helps you memorize what scales have sharps and flats in them, and that's just a great benefit. Moving on. So in my opinion, those first 5 scales, C, G, D, A, and E, are the hardest to learn 2 octaves. The next scales I'm going to show you, especially in particular the next 3 scales, I think are the easiest to play 2 octaves or more, multiple octaves, let's say, because they play all the black keys, which seems kind of strange because when you're learning 1 octave scales, I think most people will agree that the sharps, the black keys, the flats are what make learning the scales more difficult. But when we play the more than 1 octave, the black keys actually make it easier, and that's because it gives us less places where we can put our thumbs. The choice of where to put our thumb is cut down, and that really is the hardest part about playing multiple octave scales, is where do we put our thumbs. So the more sharps, the more black keys we have, the easier that becomes. So the next 3 scales, B, F sharp, and C sharp, all 3 use a trick that I like to call the spider walk, which if you've watched my videos on how to play 1 octave scales, particularly for F sharp and C sharp, I go over that little trick, which I will review really quickly right here for those of you who don't remember or haven't seen that video. But if you haven't learned to play 1 octave scales yet, I would advise you to go back and do that before trying to learn 2 octave scales. Everything will make much more sense. Okay, so the spider walk, let's review that. Let's go over that using the C major scale. I'll show you how to do the spider walk really quickly with that. So the spider walk, what it does, it helps us to remember which fingers go on the black keys. Because I said before, our thumb is going to take care of all the white keys. So that's really where we need to focus, is what finger should we use here. And the spider walk rules, and again, this only applies for B, F sharp, and C sharp major scale. It doesn't necessarily apply to some other scales. So yeah, just make sure you use these rules only for that, or you'll get really confused. Just these 3 scales. Okay, so when we're playing those 3 scales, B, F sharp, or C sharp, we're going to put these 2 fingers, which are our second and third finger, are going to play the 2 group of black keys. And these 3 fingers, 2, 3, and 4, will play the 3 group of black keys. So we're never going to put our 4th finger on a 2 group. And we will use our 4th finger to play the 3 group, okay? And then, as I said before, our thumbs go on the white keys in between. Now, when we play C sharp, everything's sharped. So that means when we come to the spot where there are 2 white keys, since this note is sharped, it's always going to be the higher of the 2 white keys, or the one to the right. So it's going to be E sharp and B sharp. And remember that E sharp is the same as an F, B sharp is the same as a or rather, B sharp is the same as a C. Okay, so everything's sharped in the key of C. So I'm going to play these 2 black keys with these 2 fingers. My thumb is going to go under and play the E sharp. these 3 fingers go here, and then my thumb goes under to play the B sharp. These 2 fingers go here. Okay, you'll see how I was playing the black keys in a clump. That's not really how you play the scale, but that's just to help you learn where to put your fingers. Because when we separate those keys, if we place our hands and get them ready in those positions on those keys, it's gonna make it really easy. So these 2 fingers go here, our thumb goes to E sharp. We're gonna place these 3 fingers here, thumb goes under to B sharp, these fingers go here, play that. Then when coming down, this is where it's especially helpful. When I come down, I know that I'm going to put these 3 fingers here. That way I won't accidentally go this or go like this, which would be really bad. We want to go all the way to there. We're not using our pinky at all, you'll notice, in this scale, nor do we use it in the F sharp. So we're coming down. These 3 fingers go here, E sharp, these 2 fingers go here. Gives you a perfect scale. Whoops, I went too far there. Perfect scale, just stop at C sharp. When we go 2 octaves, we'll keep going. C sharp comes back down. Okay, so let's try it 2 octaves now that we know how to do that. Oh, left hand, we should go over that first too. So left hand, spider walk, these 2 go here, these 3 go here, and so forth like that. If we separate it, gives us the perfect fingering. Okay, now when we do 2 octaves, we're gonna use the same policies, remembering that our thumbs go on to E sharp and B sharp. No pinkies at all. Okay, here we go, 2 octaves. Easy peasy, thumbs here. These 3 fingers, we get them placed here. Both thumbs go here on B sharp. We place these fingers here. Thumbs go there. Thumbs go there, B sharp. Now when we get here, it's fine if you want to do 3. If you're going to continue going up another octave, you're going to definitely want to use 3. But if you're just doing 2 octaves, you can stop here and use 2 or 3. It's really whatever feels comfortable. Go back down. Again, we're going to place these fingers here. Thumb goes on E sharp. Place these fingers here. Thumb on B sharp. Place your fingers. Thumb on E sharp. Place your fingers. Okay, we'll see that again. And you can get really usually pretty fast at that scale too, because it's just taking, again, it's taking the guess work out of where do I put my thumb. Okay, let's go on to F sharp. So F sharp only has 6 sharps. So in this particular scale, B is not sharped. E is sharped. Now there's something cool about these 2 white keys that'll make it easy to play. You can remember for F sharp is that you'll notice the 2 white keys, which are B and E sharp, are closest to the 3 group. So that means, see how these 2 white keys are close to the 2 groups? Those are the white keys we're not going to use. We're going to use the ones that are closest to the 3 groups. These white keys. Okay? Yeah, so we're going to start on F sharp. Let's do F sharp down here. Okay, so I'm starting, again, no pinky, and I'm starting with my fingers on the keys that I would use for the spider walk. Going up. Both thumbs are going to play B, because that's the white key closest to this 3 group. I'm going to get these fingers ready on the 2 group. Then I'm going to use the white key with my thumb that's closest. Again, it's closest to the 3 group. It's not this one, it's this one. It's closest to the 3 group. Get your fingers ready. And then B right here. Get your fingers ready. White key closest to the 3 group. I'm at the top. So again, I can just use my 2nd finger here. If I want in my left hand, I can do my 4. If I'm going to keep going, if I'm going to do another octave, I want to use my 4 so I can keep going. If I'm finished, I can use my 2, head back down, set my fingers. I'm going to the white key, that's B, closest to the 3 group. Set my fingers. White key closest to the 3 group, which is E sharp. Set my fingers. B, which is the white key closest to the 3 group. Once more. Right, here's what it looks like. The trick, right? Okay, we got one more to do in this category, and that's the B. Now, for the B scale, we will still use our pinky. We're going to use every other part of the spider walk applies, but when I get to the top, pinky will play that B. The left hand will not use the pinky. It's going to start on 4. So just the right hand is using pinky. Other than that, spider walk rules apply. The B and the E are not sharped. So when you come to your spot of 2 white keys again, like we've talked about, we're going to use the lower of the 2 because they're not sharped. We're using E and B. So when you go to make your decision about where to put your thumb, you got 2 white keys, use the one to the left. Hope that makes sense. Here we go, let's try it. So we're starting on 4 and 1. These 2 black keys right here. My thumb goes on E because it's not sharped. I'm gonna set up my fingers here for the spider walk fingering. My thumb goes on B because it's not sharped. These 2 fingers go here. Thumb on E. Set up my fingers. Now I will use my pinky here, like I said, unless if you're gonna go up another octave, then you're gonna tuck that thumb under and then you're able to keep going. If you're done, if you're at your highest note, play your 5th finger and then come on back down. I'm using E because it's not sharped. These 2 fingers go here. B's not sharped. These 3 fingers go here. E's not sharped. These fingers go here. And I end on 4 and 1. No pinky in the left hand. Okay, that's that 3 done. Okay, now we have, how many do we have left? We've got F, we've got B flat, we've got E flat, we've got A flat, 4 scales left to learn, 2 or more octaves, multiple octaves, and then we're done. Because there are actually 3 more scales, but remember those are enharmonic. The D flat and C sharp are the same. So we just covered that. If you want to play a D flat scale, same fingering for C sharp. Say just different letter names. Same thing. F sharp is going to be the exact same as a G flat scale. All the fingerings, all of the keys sound the same. We just call every single note a completely different letter name. I know, great idea, right? Really confusing. Okay, now it's fine, it's good. It's music theory, you should learn about it. There's good reasons for all these rules. I know when you're first learning, they seem kind of crazy. Like, what kind of madman made up all these rules? But no, they're really, as you learn more and more about music, more of these rules make sense. Okay, our other 3rd enharmonic scale would be C flat, which is the same as a B scale. We just learned how to play that. It's exactly the same scale, exactly the same fingering, exactly the same notes. You just call every note a different letter name. So instead of calling this a B, you call it a C flat. This, instead of being C sharp, is D flat, but played the exact same way. So no need to go over it. Okay, so let's move on to F. Now F is a hard one to learn to play 2 octaves, and that's because I've never come up with any good tricks to help you remember. We've had the tricks that we use remembering where our thumbs go for the C through C, G, D, A, E. We learned about that. We've got the easy way to place to put our thumbs when we play B, F sharp, and C sharp. F really doesn't have any good tricks, except that the thumbs, when they play, are going to play it at the same time. And we have B flat. The other thing that seems to be helpful, if you can try to remember that you're going to put your 4th finger on B flat, especially when you're coming down, it's going to feel like you're going to want to put your 3rd finger there, but trust me, it's going to be your 4th finger, okay? So let's just go through F. Like I said, F just takes practice. There's really no great trick to it, but let's learn how to play it. Okay, so key of F has just B flat, so that's going to be our only black key. Our thumbs are going to play at the same time on C and F, except of course at the beginning and the end, because the hands are going to end and begin on different fingers. I don't know. Did that make any sense? Hopefully. Okay, here's how it goes. We're starting on F. We got B flat. Don't forget to play that. Do not turn your thumb under to B flat. That is wrong. So we'll try that again. F, G, A, B flat. We're going to put both our thumbs on C. Now when we get here, again, we had that great little trick where the 3rd fingers play at the same time. That does not apply to the scale, unfortunately. When you get here, you're going to have to remember that to cross your 3rd finger to D, even though the right hand's playing the 2. So 3rd finger on D in your left, 2 on D in your right. When you get here, this is super important. Both thumbs do go on F. So that's a helpful little thing. Both thumbs on F. When you get here, again, our 3rd finger's at the same time trick kind of works here, but it's not really helpful because we're going to cross our 4th finger here with our 2nd finger. 3rd fingers are at the same time, but I wouldn't use that trick for this one because it doesn't work every time. Okay, B flat, and then both thumbs are going to go on C. We're going to cross our 3rd finger to D like we did before, and then this is weird, but the left hand ends on the 4th finger. That's correct. If you end up with a 5th finger, you did something wrong. So if you end up on 4, you did it right. Okay, so now we're going back down. We're going to put both our thumbs on C. We're we got our second finger here on B flat. This is the important part. This is the part where usually people make a mistake. Fourth finger on B flat. Don't put your third finger there. Fourth finger on B flat, because we want both our thumbs to land on F right here. We're crossing our third finger now. Don't cross your 4, cross your 3. Both thumbs on C. Fourth finger on that B flat. And on F. Good luck with that one. I don't have anything else to help you with that. It just takes lots of practice. You'll get it eventually. Just keep trying it. Okay, so we got 3 left. B flat, E flat, and A flat are kind of similar. B flat is one of the hardest scales there are to learn to play 1 octave. It gets a lot easier when you're playing 2 octaves. Look at that. How that's great. Okay, so, what you might remember about the key of B flat is that it has 2 flats. B flat and E flat are our 2 flat keys. And what we're going to do is we're going to use a little trick that is opposites on the black keys. And what I mean by that is one hand is going to use 3 to play the black key. If the left hand is using 3 to play that black key, the right hand will use 4. If the left hand uses 4, the right hand will use 3. So always make them opposite. Okay, let's try that. Once I go over that, I'm going to show you another trick that'll help with the scale as well. So B flat, we got B flat and E flat are going to be our black keys. The other fingers we'll just sort out as we go. Okay, so 3 and 4. Left hand's on 3, right hand starts on 4 on the B flat. Here we go. Now our right hand thumb is going to immediately go under to play the C. Now, see how my third finger is going to land on this black key E flat? That means my left hand is not going to cross 3, it's going to cross 4, because we're going to make these always are going to be an opposite. One's 3, one's 4. Okay, then my right hand thumb goes under to F. My right hand 4 is on B flat. That means my left hand 3 has to play the B flat. Let's keep going. Thumb goes under to C. Right hand third finger's on E flat. That means left hand fourth finger's on E flat. Right hand fourth finger's on B flat. That means left hand third finger's on B flat. And then we're going to come down using the same trick. E flat with our 3. So right hand is, I said that wrong, didn't I? E flat with your 4 with your left hand. Right hand, third finger on E flat. 3 in the left, 4 in the right. 4 in the left, 3 in the right. 3 in the left, 4 in the right. Woo! It's hard not to get those mixed up when you're trying to say them like that. Okay, so that's the first trick that I want you to think about. Okay, I wanted to show you each of these tricks separately because they can be confusing. Okay, so here's the other trick. When the right hand is going up, the thumb will follow every black key. Okay, so let me show you that. So we start with our fourth finger on a black key, then your thumb. 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 And on a black key, okay? So that's the right hand going up. The left hand coming down will do that trick. So left hand, third finger on B flat. So black key, thumb, black key, thumb, black key, thumb, black key, thumb. Make sense? Okay, so right hand going up will lead you on your thumbs. Left hand going down will lead you on your thumbs. So let's try putting those 2 tricks together. Hopefully this will make sense and I won't say the wrong thing when I'm trying to play it. Please forgive me if I say the wrong thing when I'm playing these. Don't come for me. I'm trying to help out. Doing the best I can. Okay, 3 and 4. Okay, so black key, that means my thumb's going to follow that black key on the way going up. So that's how I know to turn my thumb under. So black key, thumb, and we've got 3s and 4s are opposites. Here's black key with my third finger, right hand. That means left hand has to be 4. My next key, one of my hands is going to be playing a thumb because it follows every black key. When it's going up, it's the right hand. So black key, thumb. I'm on a 4, cross a 3. Then black key goes under, or rather, my thumb follows the black key. Black key 3, black key 4, thumb goes under. 4, 3. Now my left hand thumb is going to lead. So black key, thumb, 4 and 3. Black key, thumb. So now my thumb is going to follow the black key. 3 and 4. My thumb follows the black key. 4 and 3. My thumb follows the black key. 3 and 4. Okay, I I hope I was more helpful than confusing trying to say that. It's really actually kind of hard to describe these things as you're playing them. But okay, so let me play it through once without all the crazy talking so you can see what it's supposed to look like. Here we go. Awesome. Okay, moving on to E flat. E flat is a lot like B flat, but easier, if that makes any sense. You're going to start with both threes on E flat. Let's see, where do I want to play it? I want to play here. Both threes on E flat, okay? So they won't be opposites here, but they will be opposites in the middle. It's easier to do, though, than the B flat, so I don't think it'll be such a big deal. Let me just play through it, and you can see. It's actually, like I said, I think this one's actually a pretty easy scale. Okay, so we're going to start on 3, and then our thumb follows the black key. Here we go. We're going to make these opposites here in the middle. Both 3s on E flat. Thumb follows the black key. Middle. There we go. Come back down, both 3s on E flat. Again, your thumb is going to follow the black key on the left hand going down. We're going to make them opposites here in the middle. Your left hand thumb follows the black key. 3s at the same time here on the E flat, only it doesn't work on the other ones. Then left hand thumb follows the black key. Opposites in the middle. Left hand thumb follows the black key. Both 3s at the end. Here we go. I'll do it without the weird talking. Okay, we got one more to do. A flat. A flat, again, it's easier than B flat. It's kind of like the E flat. There's one little trick that I think is helpful. Remember how we had the rule about when we play the spider walk, these three fingers go here, these 2 fingers go here. The left hand is going to break that rule. Helps you kind of remember. So when you're coming up here, you can start with your 3rd finger on A flat, your left hand. When you get here, you're going to put your 4th finger on the 2 group. Like that. 4th finger on the 2 group. So that case, the spider walk kind of helps you remember what not to do, so you do it there. Now the right hand does it like this. Starts with 3rd finger on B flat. We don't have our 4th finger on the 2 group, so it only works in the left hand. These aren't perfect systems. These are just tricks I came up with to try to make things easier. Hopefully I'm not making it more complicated. I think this helps. It's way better too when you're taking each one of these scales one at a time rather than trying to learn them all at once. So that's what I would do, is I would come back to this video after you learn each one. If that's possible, fast forward if you can to find the scale group that you're working on. I wouldn't try to learn all these all at one sitting. It's going to be super confusing. Unless you're pretty good already at 1 octaves, that might work. But again, I wouldn't recommend that. I would learn, the scales maybe in a group of 2 or 3 at the most, and then come back once you get those mastered. Let's run through the A flat. Okay, I'll go through, try to talk through the fingerings as we do it. I think you're going to find this one, once you've done all those other scales, this one's going to feel pretty easy, I think. Okay, starting on A flat with both 3rd fingers. We're going to put our 4th finger on the 2 group. Here, the 3rd fingers will meet at the same time. 4th finger on the 2 group. 3rd fingers at the end. Here, we've got that 4th finger on the 2 group, and this hand is following the other spider walk rules where we don't put the 4th finger on the 2 group. 3rd fingers at the same time. Thumb goes under here to G. There we go. And on 3. Okay, so those are all our 12 major scales, all the fingerings to play 2 octaves or more. You can use this to apply the same principle. Once you know 2 octaves, it's actually pretty easy to go ahead and do 3 octaves or 4 octaves. And that's usually our goal, is to learn all these scales 4 octaves, so hopefully that will help. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. Share it with your friends if you think you know somebody that it might help. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. I'm trying to post videos more frequently than I have been in the past. And I really just appreciate you spending time with me to learn music. I love music. I love teaching people to learn music. Good luck with all your music studies, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.